Canelo moving up to cruiserweight with all of this meat on the plate from 160 to 175. He don't want none of that.
Hey, you gonna laugh on my opinion on that.
He don't want none of that. He want to go up there. I don't know who Makabu beat to become champion. I'm sure it wasn't any world beater of any kind. So this is another easy cherry picking opportunity to try to call yourself great. But Keith Thurman is reading Canelo the Riot Act on Boxing 24, their page. If you go read that article, I posted it. It is a absolute 100% dissertation, bit by bit, step by step, a forensic analysis of Canelo Alvarez, what he's doing, how he's doing it, and why he's doing it. And because he got undisputed at 168, my whole thing is look at, it's like cherry pick, like he's doing it again now. He's moving up to cruiserweight because it's an easy fight up there. Okay. I don't care how big this guy is. He ain't going to be on par with Canelo. Ain't nobody expecting that dude to beat Canelo. So I'm going to call myself great fighting subpar competition. I was surprised Plant went over there on the ropes after he said that's not what he was going to do. He was like, look, I'm not going to the ropes like Callum Smith. I'm not laying on the ropes waiting for you to hit me. And that's exactly what he did, though, because he was in that fight.
Easy to say that outside of the ring.
That's true.
Easy to say that outside of the ring.
It's easy. But when you train for, 6, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it is, and you're undefeated world champion, your boxing IQ shouldn't be leaving. And, I don't know, that Plant fight, to me, all Plant had to do is pot shot and just, I don't care, run. Pot shot and run. You way ahead in the fight. Just pot shot him. You can't tell me that never occurred. Just to get the hell out of the way. That never occurred to Caleb Plant.
I don't think he was in there for that, though.
No, he wasn't. He didn't think that. I don't think he thought he could get closed out like that.
To be honest with you, man, I know everybody, before the fights actually happen, you know how everybody's thinking, oh, hey, man, this person got a chance in here to beat Canelo, like Saunders, like Plant. The outcome of those fights really should tell you one thing, man. Those guys just aren't as good as Canelo. They ain't as good as he is.
That's true.
It's not that they can't fight. I think Plant, I'd love to see Plant get in there with Charlo.
Yeah, I'd love to see a rematch there. I'd love to see a rematch there. But styles make fights, and that style that Plant has, if he could just continue, stick and move, if he just could just continue doing that, I think he could find himself in a unanimous decision position.
I like that. Like I said, I like to see Plant fight Charlo.
That's a good fight. Yeah, they're in each other's face talking about it too. So you might get it.
The problem is, man, Canelo's name. I tell you when we're gonna start seeing good fights. When you take Canelo's name out of the equation.
Yeah.
You take his name out of the equation. Now you got guys having to find a dance partner.
Yeah, they got
you. Know what I'm saying? You ain't in the Canelo sweepstakes no more. You got to find a legitimate dance partner. Like Andrade fighting who the hell was that? Quigley?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You
Quigley.
can't be fighting these kind of guys, but behind the scenes, you screaming and hollering for Canelo. Come on, man. You want to get seen, you gotta make some noise.
That's
some racket in the division.
You got to.
Go in there and whoop up Triple G. Go in there and whoop up Charlo. I guarantee you're gonna get seen then.
Oh yeah.
Somebody gonna look at you. Now this Canelo, I'm gonna go on record to say this. If the fight happens.
Go on, Norman.
I've been looking at this man, and Canelo moving up to cruiserweight to fight on this Makabu. I think is a mistake.
Yeah, career wise, everybody knows it's a soft fight.
I think it's a mistake differently than y'all think. I think it's a mistake because if he moves up to fight Makabu, and this is cruiserweight. This is a cruiserweight division. If he moves up and fights this guy in a fight, I can see Canelo getting knocked out.
If the guy ain't took a step aside check, every that's what Thurman was pointing out in that article in Boxing 24. He said, Makabu is palling around with Canelo, acting so grateful for the fight and all of that. It's hard to believe that he gonna show up and not lose that fight on purpose. He probably got a nice little, if you lose before the seventh round, there's an extra $500,000 in there for you, And yeah, man, it's some BS. We done seen that before. We know the judges, and I mean, if you just look at Canelo Plant, and anybody that knows anything about boxing knows Canelo was behind in the fight, but not on the scorecards. All them judges had those scorecards for Canelo every round. He didn't lose a single round. Through 9, they had Canelo from 1 to 9, unanimous decision.
Oh no, I definitely thought he lost some rounds.
That's
most definitely.
No, everybody knows that he wasn't ahead in that fight. But the scorecard, so he can't lose.
I was just waiting. We had already said what was going to happen. I was just waiting. He's going to lose them early rounds. All he's going to do is walk him down. Plant ain't got the pop and the tenacity to keep him off.
That's right.
That's the problem. He's just waiting to get close to you. He's waiting to close that distance and hit you with one of them hellacious shots he be throwing. Break your wheel. Once you get hit with one of them, it's a whole different fight. Now all of a sudden you on defense mode.
Yeah. That's why I said he should have just ran. Wasn't nothing wrong with his feet. He should have just took off. You know what? Screw y'all. I'm up. Well, put it this way. He was going to lose that fight either way. The judges, flat out, they had every round scored for Canelo. Even the greatest fanboy knows that's some BS. He did not win the first 9 rounds straight.
No.
But that's how they had it scored. So Plant was going to lose that fight unless he knocked Canelo out.
He didn't win the first 5 rounds.
No, but they gave all of them to Canelo. Just go back and look at that fight.
Looking at it.
Yeah. The scorecards were all for Canelo. So this dude cannot lose a fight unless he gets knocked out. That's what's up with Canelo. If you don't knock him out, you're gonna lose.
I think Plant boxed well. I just don't think he did enough to keep him off of him, man.
I think it's corruption in boxing. There was probably a check waiting on him, a dive check, and he knew he was going to lose on the scorecard. Yeah, I think he knew he was going to lose on the scorecards regardless. He wasn't going to get no decision over it. So he just said, you know what? I can pick up an extra 700,000 or a meal or two, 5 meals or something on the side if I go ahead and let this cat knock me out. So he just laid on the ropes and let it happen. Picked up an extra 5 meals. So I'll show you something if you want to look at it. Look at Caleb Plant's girl. She happier than a sissy with a bag of. Okay, yeah. For real, man. That's crazy, but she real happy. She ain't worried about he lost to me. He ain't losing her eyes.
Nah, I mean, and plus Plant got even though he lost to Canelo, man, that guy ain't done. He got plenty of fights out there, man. He gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, he still got a buttload of money, man.
But if Canelo takes that Makabu fight, and it's a serious fight, I see Canelo getting hurt.
Yeah, if he get in there with anybody and it's a real fight, something that's gonna be, Bivol. I can see Bivol going in there and laying on the ropes too. Bivol ain't never laid on the ropes in his life. But if he get that fight, suddenly he gonna go over there and just lay back on them ropes and act like he got caught too. I can see Beterbiev doing that too, because he just fought through a split head Brown opened his head up with that headbutt.
I seen that too, man. He got the, you know what though, man? I hate to tell you, but B got the wrong style to fight Canelo. That's a bad fight for him. He got the wrong style. I was listening to somebody talking about it, and they gave an analogy of him, man. He's like a robot.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he's like. He got the wrong style to fight Canelo because he gonna get countered and hit a lot.
Right. But the thing about him, it's like fighting the devil. When you fight B look like the devil, man. He gonna take what you hit him with. Question is, can you take what he gonna hit you with?
I don't think he'll be able to do that. Though. See, I tell you what, D hit it dead on the head. D Cloud Gun, man. D said B is a slower, lesser version of Triple G. That's exactly what he is.
Wow.
Triple G is a better fighter and boxer than B is.
Oh yeah, much better, yeah.
So when you go back and look at that fight with Triple G, I actually thought Triple G could have gotten the nod in the first fight. You know, I just got to be honest with it. I thought he could have got the nod. They gave it to Canelo. I ain't gonna say it was a robbery. It wasn't a robbery, but if Triple G had got the nod, I could have saw it. I could have saw him winning the fight by a round or two.
Yeah.
Now the second fight was a little bit different. That was a little different. But Canelo got ways of nullifying what you do best in the ring. You know, Triple G threw the jab against him just about throughout that whole fight. Only problem was he missed so many punches in that fight, man.
Canelo at the end of his career, man. I think if it was prime Triple G, it'd be a different story.
If it was prime Triple G, Canelo wouldn't have been fighting.
That's true. He wouldn't even took the fight.
that wouldn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because he already know what was coming. Canelo picked the fight at the right time. Not that Triple G wasn't dangerous. He was still the most dangerous middleweight, you know, in the division. But that's not the young Triple G. That's just like me telling people, yeah, you beat Manny Pacquiao. That's not the young Manny Pacquiao.
No.
That's the on down the line, slowed down, they aged a little bit fighter that you beat. Not that they're not good. They still better than just about any average fighter out there.
Yeah.
But you're not fighting those guys in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally different. People don't think that fighting a person in his prime and fighting them later on a big difference. I be hearing people say it all the time, but they just don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they don't. You're a different fighter later on in your fight. And that's the point I was making about Canelo gassing and Suleiman up in the clenbuterol level. Now you don't see Canelo gassing at all, man. And that's just, you know, I'm just like, okay. Oh, who y'all think y'all talking to, man?
I think Canelo gonna. I could be wrong. I think Canelo's gonna bag out of that cruiserweight fight.
You think he's gonna lose it?
I think he's gonna bag out of it. I think he's gonna take another fight.
Oh yeah, he's already talking about backing out of it. He should back out of it. I don't think it does it. It would be something if, like, okay, if he really want to show that he's a bad dude moving up to cruiserweight, then take Usyk at cruiserweight because he already made the offer.
Oh, man, that would be insane.
Usyk beat the dog snot out of Canelo. It'd be
he might as well just tell you before the fight, hey, I'm going up to cruiserweight to fight Usyk, and I know I'm finna lose, because that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
There's no way he should. If he takes that, man, that'd be one of the craziest moves. Of course, Usyk would like it.
Well, he trying to get credit like he's a cruiserweight champion. He ain't gonna defend. He gonna take the easy fight that's available in whatever weight class, and then he ain't gonna defend the belt. He gonna vacate the belt and run off somewhere else to the next easy fight.
I mean, I believe everybody in the world knows if he moves up to cruiserweight to fight Mukabu and beats Mukabu, of course he going back down. There's no way he gonna stay at the weight.
He ain't staying up there. He ain't gonna stay at 168. I see him hauling tail back down to 160 to go fight. What's that little guy's name that got beat up by? I can't think of the guy's name. Munguia got beat up by oh god, that little white kid, the Irish dude. Hogan, Dennis Hogan. Dennis whooped his tail. But that's who Canelo will run back down there and try to go up and fight Munguia.
I think it's gonna be a little bit different. I think he's actually waiting on those guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't believe Charlo and Andrade deserve a fight with him. I just don't. But I think he's waiting.
If Makabu, they both got world titles too. Okay, if Makabu deserves it,
they got titles
they can justify Makabu. They can justify. He's been ducking them since 2014. Andrade and Charlo.
They got titles at 160.
Right, but like you said, if he moves, he ain't gonna stay up at cruiserweight. He's gonna come back down. But he's gonna come back down for Munguia because I think he can probably get away with a. Ain't neither one of them. Charlo ain't gonna lay on the ropes for him, and neither is Boo Boo Andrade ain't gonna lay on the ropes for him either. They gonna outbox him and he gonna lose.
I think he's gonna fight Beater B.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, and don't get me wrong. Most people think that's a crazy fight for him to take. They think
Beater B. They
think Beater B is the Terminator. But I've been watching boxing too long, man. Beater B is not the Terminator. Yeah, he's ran through the people that he's fought.
Yeah, that's a point right there. That's an excellent
point. You got to look at who he's fighting, man. You got to look at who he's fighting.
Yeah, got to take a look at that.
Canelo said, believe me, I guarantee you, Canelo done looked at him and said, "Yeah, look at that resume. Look who he fought."
See, I don't think he wants a tough fight either, because neither one of those cats, Beater Biev nor Bivol, unless they're taking step-aside checks, they're going to hit Canelo. I don't think he wants to get hit.
I mean, I don't think he's scared to get hit, though. Like I said, when he took the Triple G fight, he knew he was going to get hit.
He lost the first one.
In the ring. Yeah, but
he lost the first one.
I thought he lost it too, but one thing I will tell you when I watched that fight, there are very few people that I've ever seen get in the ring with Triple G and he backs up. Never seen that, Harley.
He's at the end of his career, man. He's not the same guy he was.
Yeah, but saying that though, even in saying that, I think Triple G can beat Andrade and Charlo.
I think
he can beat either one of them.
I disagree with you, Norman. I don't think they can withstand. Triple G will get beaten up by both of them. And I mean,
I tell you what.
Well, what happened? Look at what happened to Dichenko. Dichenko hurt Triple G.
And I agree with you. I thought Dichenko did an excellent job with him, but I can't go off of one fighter. Every fighter runs into a fighter that gives them problems. That's just the realism of boxing.
That exposes where he's at. That's all. And he at the end of his rope because Triple G lost to Dichenko. Let's just be honest. Triple G lost that Dichenko fight.
Even if we say that, but for me to say Triple G ain't the fighter that he was no more because Dichenko did a good job, I can't go that far. I got to see a little bit more.
No, I'm saying that's not. I think Dichenko would have done well against Triple G no matter when he fought him. That's a good matchup.
Right? That's because of the style matchup.
Yeah, that's a good matchup, good style matchup. But what I am saying, like you saying now, Triple G would beat Andrade and Charlo. Triple G would get the crap kicked out of him now because he's at the end of his career. Now, maybe earlier, like 2010 Triple G.
Let me tell you something. I'll even take exception to Charlo because I think Charlo is a pretty good fighter and Charlo can actually punch. Andrade wouldn't make it to the 10th round against Triple G. Not with his style.
Today's Triple G?
Yes. Andrade wants to box. Andrade wants to box. He wants to move around the ring and box. That's not going to happen when you're fighting Triple G. You ain't going to be able to fight that kind of fight. He's not going to let you box. He ain't going to let you look pretty. He ain't going to let you do what he did to Quigley. Not going to happen. And I'll tell you what, me and you go back on this discussion when we see the Triple G versus is it Morano?
Yeah, Murata.
When he fights Murata, and we see how that fight plays out, then we could go back and talk about what kind of Triple G we gonna see.
Okay.
Because I got a feeling that he's gonna knock Murata out.
You know what? That wouldn't surprise me, but it's Murata.
Murata is still a champion, so it just depends on how he fights him.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at the fight.
I mean, I ask myself that question all the time. I'd be like, okay, hey, Murata got a title. You know, how come we haven't seen Charlo against him or Andrade? How come none of those guys try to make a fight? And I'm wondering what's holding up these Triple G versus Charlo, Triple G versus Andrade.
Cowardice.
What's up these fights, man?
That's cowardice. Triple G been turning them fights down regularly. He just turned most recent turn down was to Boo Boo Andre. Before he booked with Murata, he turned while he was open and free. He turned the fight down. Canelo turned down 40 mil to fight Andre. Because the styles, you know, they're not gonna lay on the ropes and be still for you. You're gonna get you can't stop, you can't deal with the speed or the reach. So there's really no fight for you except to just get embarrassed, I think.
I don't think it was the money. That definitely wasn't the reason. If they offered him 40 million to fight,
He avoiding that fight for some reason. And Thurman is blowing him. You got to read Norman. Boxing 24 has an op-ed out. You got to go check that out. Thurman is, I mean, not even hating, but everything that we have said came out of Thurman's mouth. Now, this is a peer, you know, a pro boxer in his prime, trying to go for a world title next summer, giving a critique on what Canelo's doing, how he's doing it, why he's doing it, and who he's avoiding and why he's avoiding. I mean, he covered everything. Normally when I see the news, I'll try to pick the points out. He made a book on Canelo. He wrote a book on him, and he's 1,000% correct. Hats off to him. This man.
I tell you what. If Triple G, whenever this fight happens, I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
But let's say Triple G beats Murata and gets Murata has the what? The WBO?
Yeah.
Title?
No.
Say Triple the WBO?
G got the WBO, don't he?
I just do not believe that crap going around that Triple G is the reason that they aren't fighting. I don't believe it.
He got the IBO and the IBF.
Who's that? Triple G?
Mm-hmm. So you think Murata has the WBO?
I don't know exactly which title it is he has. All I know is them guys need to be thinking about unifying. Somebody needs to be undisputed at 160.
Man, that's real talk right there. That's real talk.
Ain't no reason why, man.
It don't even make no sense.
And even in the heavyweight division, I mean, I can understand Usyk throwing out that little bait for Canelo. I can understand that, you know, to see if he'll take it. But in the heavyweight division, that's what they should be concentrating on also.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Unify, man. Let's get an undisputed.
The WBO is Andre, and the WBA is Murata.
Oh, he has the WBA title, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he got the WBA. And the BO is your boy
Triple G.
Andre. Andre got the BO.
Okay.
Triple G got the IBO and the IBF.
Yeah, I'm ready to see somebody unify because I want to see what happens after that. If Triple G unifies the belt.
Hey.
So then what? You know what I'm saying? But let's see what happens after that.
So
I believe eventually we're gonna see Canelo and Charlo. We're gonna see them fight eventually. I think it's gonna happen.
Ish, man, we shouldn't have to wait a whole nother year. What is that?
I think Canelo's on that legacy move. That's what he's on right now.
Weak fight legacy.
I mean, actually, to be honest with you, he shouldn't be fighting at cruiserweight. I don't care who he fighting.
Yeah, he shouldn't even be up there. He should go on and beat a man at middleweight.
I don't mean that in a negative. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying he has no reason being in there with a cruiserweight. That is fighting a cruiserweight.
It's an easy fight, Norman. It's
not an easy fight.
It's cake, man. You done paid that boy off. That boy gonna go out there and lay down.
It sounds easy. It sounds easy to most people because
if he was going to look, you're assuming.
But
you're assuming
jumping up to cruiserweight. That just, man, people don't do that. People don't seem to understand the significance.
It's not significant if the dude's gonna lay down, Norman.
Well, I mean, we don't know that though. I mean,
yeah, we do. Yes, we do. Norman is gonna lay down just like Callum Smith and and get hit. And like your boy, what's that? I can't even think of his name no more. That's terrible because he's the
who's that?
Destroyer. 175. That first one that just laid on the road.
Oh, you talking about Kovalev?
Cove, yeah, Cove caved, and then he admitted it. I got him on video admitting it was a money fight. Terrible. And you know, people can say they hating and talking. He ain't got no reason to. Look, he was literally jabbing at Canelo like this, just like this. I couldn't even believe that. I was like, what is, I didn't see, he knocked out your boy, that young brother out there from England, 175 pounds. God, I'm having a brain cramp today. Braids, brother, England, 175. Anthony Yard. My bad. Anthony Yard. Yeah. He knocked Yard out with a jab, dude. I didn't think I was going to see Anthony Yard get knocked out. Kovalev dropped that fool with a jab. You can't tell me that Anthony Yard is a weak guy. He's not a candy boy and none of that. I will say that the jab that he hit Yard with was absent in the Canelo fight. He didn't hit Canelo that hard the entire fight at all. No hooks, no overhand rights, no nothing. This big man that can do that to any other big man couldn't hit the smaller man with nothing significant. And because he was missing, he was doing like this.
My thing is, why would he lay down?
Money. He said so. He said it was a money fight. He did. I'm telling you, man. I mean, Norman, your sport is corrupt, bro.
I mean, I've been
watching a lot of crap going on in the sport, bro.
I've been watching it ever since I was young, man. It ain't nothing.
It ain't the same, man.
Boxing been corrupt ever since the days of Ali, man. Yeah. It's been corrupt.
Yeah.
You know, you got Sonny Liston putting some kind of chemical on his glove back in the day. So, you know, I mean, it's corruption in the sport. It's probably ain't never gonna go nowhere.
That's terrible. You know, that's another thing that your boy Thurman was breaking down in the fight. I mean, in that op-ed with Boxing 24. He said, you know, the same way the NBA and the NFL, they can't, you know, cherry pick their opponent, take the weaker team and go win the Super Bowl, but you can do that in boxing.
You can pick.
Yeah. So these people, and then you got these little fanboys trying to run around like, oh yes, our favorite fighter is a world beater. Your favorite fighter is a fake. He cherry picking everything. He got skills, but he ain't as good as y'all playing him up to be, and he's not fighting anybody. And there's the proof. You know?
I mean, a lot of fighters cherry pick though. Even the good ones cherry pick. I can't, you know. Manny Pacquiao.
But they don't avoid. They don't like. Okay, look, your boy Canelo was down at 160 with a chance to be undisputed, and it was against Andre, and he turned that fight down for 40, turned down 40 million and undisputed. See, that's, man, let me tell you something.
I mean, I can't look at that though, because you got to
Why? Let's look at it.
You got to look at where they are now.
I don't care where they are now. Why you do that?
But you got to. You got to.
What?
If that fight was supposed to be for undisputed.
Yeah. What's wrong with being undisputed middleweight champion? What's wrong with that?
Canelo's been undisputed. He's gone on to be undisputed. What has Andrade done?
We talking about before the Caleb Plant fight. The man was at 160 pounds. He vacated all of his titles and vacated the opportunity to be undisputed at middleweight. All he had left was Andre. That's it. As poor as Andre is supposed to be, can't fight. None of that was a reason. He avoided becoming undisputed. That is for a real fighter.
He did all of that and did what?
Well, my point is, why? How do you walk away from history? How do you walk away from history, Norman?
That's like saying, well, he's made history already. So you can't
he's done it now as of the last 2 months, but this is a little piece back where he could have been undisputed at 160 pounds and quit. I'm not going to be undisputed. He's supposed to be. These same people are saying that he's better than Andre. So it should have been, if he was going to cherry pick, then cherry pick Andre, who he can, according to all these folks, he can beat him. Why would you run away from the weaker fighter that y'all claim Andre is, and undisputed, and $40 million guaranteed money?
I think there was something else to that, though.
Yeah, cowardice. He don't want to get his ass whooped. That's what it is.
I mean, I can't say that he was scared to fight Andrade, but he goes up and wait and beats everybody in that division. That don't make sense.
Step aside check that Andrade wasn't gonna take. He wasn't gonna give up his belt. That's all he got.
I mean, and if that's the case, how come Andrade ain't fighting nobody else?
Because ain't nobody trying to fight him. He's fighting anybody that'll get in the ring with him. He's on the zone just begging.
He ain't the boogie.
He's like, I want Triple G. I want Charlo. I want Canelo. I'll take any of them. What do I have to do to get in the ring with these people? That's what he's saying.
Him and Charlo can make a fight. I don't believe that.
They can.
I don't believe it ain't because nobody's scared of him. It's something else. It ain't got nothing to do with that.
Well, don't nobody seem to know what something else is. I know what it is.
There ain't nothing about Andrade that comes off to me as somebody needs to be scared of him. Nothing, not a single thing. I've seen him fight several times.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is, Lord. I'm gonna tell you what the problem is with Andrade. Andrade can fight to the level of his competition, and you're not going to outbox him. He's rangy.
How can we definitively say what the level of his competition is when all he's been fighting is lesser competition? That's it.
No, there's a reason for that. He's actually better than everybody they done put in the ring with him, and the other fighters see that, and their skills ain't too much better than the people he's been fighting. See, Canelo got a lot of money, man. He got a lot of money because all them people that got behind it. But
now people skill set is not the same excuse. That's the same excuse they use for Canelo. All of these guys are lesser fighters than Canelo. They cab drivers or whatever. Right. Canelo is beating actually good fighters. They just aren't as good as he is.
Right. Based on, look, I'm going to show you something. This is the level of corruption you're dealing with. There are two instances that stand out, well, three, that stand out like an eyesore. 118 to 110 versus Mayweather. Them judges gave that fool, Adelaide Bird in particular, 118 to 110, Canelo over Mayweather in that fight.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Okay, look. This is the level of corruption you're dealing with. Now, look, he just fought Plant. ahead on all the scorecards through 9 rounds. All of them. Unanimous, all the judges. So he has money to pay off Kovalev and Callum Smith. You know what? I ain't too sure he didn't, because look, if you watch Plant knows how to fight off the ropes. There is something to the power that Canelo has. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he don't hit hard as a truck. And everybody says that once you get hit by this boy, it's like it changes the whole game. Why ain't they running from him? Callum didn't run from him. Kovalev didn't take off running to try to keep from getting knocked out. They all, even Plant, laid their behinds on that rope. That's because of that money. Anytime you can get 110 to 118 against Floyd Money Mayweather, you can do anything you want to do in the sport of boxing.
That's right there.
Because there ain't nobody bigger than Floyd, and he still got a BS card. He managed that.
Everybody always brings up this Canelo versus Floyd, compared.
You seen what happened, because you can't give Canelo a round. So where was Adelaide Berg getting 118 to 110 from?
The thing is, man.
Bullshit. That's where she getting it from.
People need to stop using that fight as an analogy, because they don't understand. Not with what you
did. We just seen it with Plant. He didn't win all them rounds.
No, I ain't talking about as far as scoring. I'm just talking about as far as who was actually fighting in that fight. Now, you got a Floyd Mayweather. If there's some people out there that actually argue with me that everybody felt Canelo was going to win that fight. What are you watching?
They crazy.
I mean, everybody keeps looking. Stop looking at the 42-0 or whatever he was at that. Stop looking at the record. The record don't mean nothing if you got nothing on your resume.
I agree.
I tell people the top fighters he had fought back then was who? Kermit Citron, Alfonso Gomez. Who else did he fight? I can't even remember the so-called top fighters he fought at that time. Floyd Mayweather is levels above him when he fought him, man. You know what I'm saying? Experience-wise, Floyd had all the experience, even though he was, 39 or some 37?
36. He's 36 years old.
So people using that as, oh man, Floyd was an old man. There's no way Canelo should have. Yeah, that's every way Canelo should have lost like that.
Well, he lost to Laura and he lost to Trout on points.
I thought he beat Austin Trout. Now, the Laura fight, the only reason I couldn't say anything about Laura losing that fight is Laura didn't do enough in that fight to win over that decision. I thought he boxed brilliant. He stayed away. But sometimes that's not going to win you the decision when you got Canelo chasing you. It's not going to do it.
Yeah.
I thought he should have.
I see that. I can see that. They're going to say he ran or whatever, but it's about points.
Oh, Laura should have fought more.
Round by round, that's how you score a fight.
I thought Laura should have fought more. It's you get scored on aggression. Judges score a fight on aggression. It's called effective aggression. So they look at it. If you're the aggressor in the fight, yeah, it's looked at.
Yeah, it is. It is. But if you're getting outboxed, like Plant wasn't the aggressor because Canelo was coming forward, and he was getting backed up too. And I don't see. My whole point is the corruption that has him way out front and making all of this money and everything is sad for the sport. Because we done seen, some real ridiculous crap.
Scorecards.
I know how to score a fight.
We ain't gonna be able to do nothing about the scorecards. We're gonna see that from now until boxing end, where you get two judges score a fight 115, 113 for the same fighter, and then the last judge scores the fight 118, 110 for the other fighter. Man, what are you watching? Bro, are you serious? It happens all the time in boxing. Yeah. You always see them lopsided scorecards. So you start thinking, man, hey man, hold on, what? Where'd they get them scores from?
Yeah, they cheating.
I mean,
Rigged fights. They rigged, man.
Let me tell you one of the worst. And I done seen some bad beats in boxing. I tell you one of the worst beats I ever seen in boxing. Most people probably don't even know about this fight. But this is back when De La Hoya was fighting. And De La Hoya was trying to jump up to middleweight. It would have been his first fight at middleweight. And he took on Felix Stern. Bro, Felix Stern beat the hell out of Oscar De La Hoya. And they gave De La Hoya the decision.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it. That was the worst robbery I had seen in my life, man.
And then he went and took on B-Hop after that. And got hit and went out. B-Hop hit that boy with a liver shot, and that was all she wrote.
Let me tell you something, man. You never see De La Hoya's face looking the way it looked. Like it did after
he BS his way through that one.
But they gave him the decision.
Yeah.
I mean, flat out gave it to him.
Gave it to him.
So,
silver platter.
Man, it happens. It happens in boxing. I mean, to say that it's happening in Canelo fights, it could be.
You know, it's cool. I want everybody to just tell the truth, though. If they're gonna cheat, let's agree that everybody knows how to score fights. So if you watch that Plant Canelo fight, you know Canelo ain't win 9 straight rounds, man. Let's just agree that they lying and BS. If you're gonna have your cash cow and you don't want him to lose, you don't want to lose that money or whatever. But what gets me is the fans pretend. They play less pretend also. Like, yes, he did. He won off.
Hey, they tell you, one of the cardinal rules, never leave the fight in the hands of the judges.
Never. And if you can't knock Canelo out, because he ain't gassing no more, so you probably ain't going to knock him out. That means you're going to lose the fight no matter what you do. Because if you can't get a KO, you ain't winning the fight.
But you gotta go in there and sell out. Go in there and sell out. That's what they tell you.
Yeah, you may as well. I mean, you got the Canelo fight, so it's a big payday, and that's what Canelo said. Oh, I know you want payday. You want payday. Okay. Yep, because you ain't gonna get no decision because the judges, the books is cooked on them. I mean, you know, they're gonna give every round, or they're gonna make sure they give the majority of the rounds to Canelo. So you can't beat him unless you can knock him out. And that's probably what Beterbiev understands. And I know you write about them styles, but I wonder, since ain't nobody hitting Canelo, who's hitting Canelo? That's a point right there. Who has housed him? Triple G is the only one. Triple G at the end of his career is the only one that has actually hit Canelo Alvarez. Who else has hit it?
Triple G can hit, though.
He can, but I'm saying besides Triple G, all of his opponents, who has just housed him, just caught him? Blam! Nobody.
Well, you got to look at how they fight, too. Triple G ain't coming in there to box you. You and I know that. He coming in there to walk you down and beat you up.
True. That's at the end of his career, he don't have the same...
But I'm saying like Plant, Saunders, those guys ain't got that style. They boxers. They coming in there to box you.
Yeah.
Use that jab, keep you on the outside. They're not trying to hit you with a big shot.
You are a champion of that fight with Sanders versus Canelo. I'm gonna say this about that fight. When have you not seen Sanders very, I'm saying Very, very mobile? When he fights, that's his thing. He gonna have you swinging at fresh air. He ain't gonna be there when you swing. That's Saunders. That's BJS all day long. He was flat-footed in that fight. I'd say 60% of the fight he was flat-footed, standing right in front of Canelo, like taunting him and all that old silly stuff. I think it's step-aside checks on all of that.
He threw only thing about
not
Sanders.
Step-aside, but cheat checks. Sorry.
I think Canelo was waiting on Sanders in that fight. BJ Sanders threw some punches in that fight. Not all of them landed.
But he was flat-footed. I'm just trying to pick up on the change, the sudden difference in the fight styles that we've seen in some of these fighters their entire career. You can say what you want to say about Billy Joe Sanders, but the man moves.
I thought he was moving, and I thought he outboxed.
About 40% of the time he was moving. I
thought he outboxed Canelo early in the fight.
He did, but what I'm saying is he does that for 12 rounds. It ain't no point where he starts getting flat-footed and standing around waiting to get hit.
He got hit.
He got hell, but I think he let himself get the hell knocked out of him. I'm not denying what he got hit with was devastating.
I don't even mean that one punch. I mean before that, when Canelo was setting everything up, he tapped him a couple of times.
Yeah, he got it, but that's because he was standing in front of him too.
Sanders, it changed. It looked like when he tapped Sanders, I don't know, his whole thought process changed.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. You know the boy can punch. Ain't nobody saying Canelo can't punch. But, okay, what did Canelo catch Lara with?
In that fight?
Nothing significant.
No, I can't say that. There were some times that he did catch Lara. He couldn't catch him with more than one punch in that fight. That was the thing. Because he would hit him, and he would try to throw that combo, and Lara would be gone, getting out of the way.
And Saunders is every bit the boxer Lara was. So what was Saunders doing flat-footed? I'd say 60% of that fight, he's standing right there in front of Canelo, trying to, I don't know. He ain't no shoulder roll dude.
I can't say
who he is.
I'm not gonna say Saunders is a slicker.
But he can move. His mobility is his fight game big time. And he brag about you be swinging at fresh air.
Lara has always been difficult to fight.
Lara is very hard. Now, if Lara had been laying on them ropes, man, Lara didn't do it. And that's why he won the fight. He just got on the card.
Lara has a reason to be like that. Remember, we always talked about them Cuban fighters. Same difficult style to fight against. Now, Billy Joe Saunders is just a big, slick middleweight.
Yeah.
That's really all he is. Just a big, slick middleweight. I just thought he got caught. I thought he stopped moving the way that he should have moved, and he got caught too many times.
Which he ain't did that in a fight yet, but he did it versus Canelo.
and he was way bigger than Canelo. So
Saunders?
Yeah, he was bigger than Canelo. I mean, maybe I don't know if that had anything to do with it. He didn't think he had to move as much. But Canelo ain't very big, man, when you look at him. He ain't a huge guy.
5'7" or something like that. Knocking out. Now he wants to be a cruiserweight. I mean, come on, man. Stop.
I get Canelo some advice. Stay away from the cruiserweight. Don't fall into that trap thinking
he can fall into it because it's a rigged fight. That guy gonna lay down and act like he just got devastated by Canelo Alvarez.
I'll tell you what are we gonna say if Canelo moves up to cruiserweight
and
gets knocked the hell out? And gets knocked the hell out.
My tail off just because I think it's funny. Okay, I'm gonna laugh.
Man, that's gonna shake up the world. That would shake the world up, man.
Yeah. But he asked for it. He would have asked for it. He knows he's gonna win that fight. I'll bet you Canelo gonna knock him out. They ain't gonna be no decision. 6 rounds and that dude to be out on his feet.
Canelo can't take a cruiserweight punch.
I don't think he can either. A little 5'6", 6'7", something like that. He can't take my punch.
Nah, he ain't gonna take a cruiserweight punch.
I catch that little. Come on, man. He can't take it, man. But he ain't gonna get hit with it. He ain't gonna get hit. He'll be Kovaleving him. He'll be out there doing like this. If you go back and watch that fight, that made me mad. And oh my God, I was just like, really? And you know what? People want to say, oh, you're hating. No, what's wrong with the truth? How many rounds should we like videotape Kovalev doing like this? That's not done in the sport of boxing. Your life is supposed to be in danger unless it's a fixed fight and you about to go down as soon as you get hit with something like he did. Yeah. I mean, look. Did you see Andre Ward stop Kovalev?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now, Ward is a bigger guy than Canelo Alvarez. And, it took some serious effort when he got him in that corner. He didn't just go down as soon as he got hit. Ward had to work on him to put him down. Yeah. Okay.
Well, Kovalev, if I'm correct, was that in that fight? Yeah, Kovalev knocked Ward down, didn't
he? In the first fight.
Yeah, in the first fight. He knocked him down, so Ward was like.
But Ward stopped him in the second fight.
Yeah. First fight, I think that got Ward's attention, though. Once Andre Ward figured you out, though, that's really a done deal.
Yeah, that's you toast. You probably toast before the fight starts. Yeah. You probably toast.
I mean, he caught Andre with that shot. All it did was let Ward know what his punching power was like. That was it. All he gonna do is gauge you after that.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's how that's how hard you hit.
Mm-hmm.
We know what to do.
Yep.
Well, I don't think he got caught with another clean shot after that.
We're gonna have to wrap it up, Norman.
Yes, sir.
D. Clagan is supposed to get with us. Are you gonna be with us Friday, you think, or no?
Man, I work Friday morning, so I probably won't make it back in here till 6 p.m.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we're set for noon on Friday, so we'll have another show coming with D. Clagan, RBK Nation. We're gonna have another show with D on this Friday at 12 noon, where we're gonna chop it up once again. We have his perspective, the excellent boxing analysis by Mr. Antonio Norman today. Made some excellent insights. So we're looking forward to all three of us getting together. So you get with me on that schedule, and we'll set it up so we can hash it out again. One more thing. Fighter of the Year. Who you got? 2021 Fighter of the Year.
Man. I got to answer that right now.
You can give me your top two if it's hard.
Yeah, that's pretty hard. It's been some good fights out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been some heck of some fights out there.
I want to give Shakur Stevenson. If I gave you my top two, I'm gonna go with Shakur Stevenson and Errol Spence for unifying, coming off all the tragedy and everything that he fought through.
Yeah, that's why I said, man, there's so much stuff that happened.
Yeah,
Shakur Stevenson beating Jamel Herring, though, that was that was a good fight, man.
I love that fight because he told him what he was gonna do to him. He was trying to take the belt off his arm. He's like, give this belt. That was priceless.
I can also take my hat off to Kambosos.
Absolutely. Can't say nothing about Kambosos.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was beautiful. So we may have to go with a top three. I'm gonna pick Kambosos too. So it had to get three. Had to go with three of them on that one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Norm. We catch back up probably early next week, man. RBK Nation, RBK yours truly, and the illustrious Antonio Norman signing off. Peace.
Peace.